Good afternoon, friends. I'm Faker, and welcome to Last Week I Read. In this series, we take a quick look at the archetypes that I covered in the previous weeks I refused to read your comments, and see where I went wrong. And we'll play some games. Predaplant. The ravenous flora themselves came out of nowhere to take first place in the poll, and oh my god. There were so many of them, it was all that I could do just to keep them straight in my head as we went through the list. Sometimes I did better at that than others. Let's get into your comments and see where I went wrong. Our first comment says, "Oh no, he completely missed what makes Drosophilium hydra so good. Yes, it's a kaiju, from the grave too." That is totally true. Basically, as soon as I started reading it, I wrote it off as being basically the same card as Banksy Ogre, so I didn't notice the subtle difference. This card is crazy cool. It's a little complicated to set up because you have to put like counters on the monster to be able to tribute it, but being able to like send a dark target to grave off Branded Fusion, which is also just a kaiju, is nutso. Didn't give it enough credit. This commenter states, "No, the level modulation is not tied to the Predaplants themselves. It's actually just the second half of the effect that places the counter. Even if all Predaplants leave the field, the counter stays on the monster and the level stays reduced." That is super sick and not something that was evident by the card text, but after testing I can definitely say that it's true, which makes the Predator counters much stronger than I had initially given them credit for during the entirety of the video. Being able to blank your opponent's levels without requiring the body on board is much stronger. Now, in the sub-comments discussing why this is the case, someone left a reply stating, "That's pretty embarrassing considering Magic the Gathering already laid the groundwork for solving these formatting issues." Always love having Magic players in my comments section. By all means, guys, come in, poke fun at Yu-Gi-Oh! While your CEO argues whether Barbie or Garbage Pail Kids should get a promo with Chandra next. You're doing great. Our third commenter says, "In defense of Predaprime Fusion, it's a quick play fusion spell that can be used in your battle phase, unlike most quick play fusion spells, and it can help punch for game since it makes pretty much any Predaplant fusion. Also, from experience, Predaplast sucks ass. It's a hard brick going first, and even worse if you draw it with no engine." Note, the main reason most Predaplant decks don't use Verte Anaconda is because they can't. Predapractice locks you into fusions, and it's the deck's best consistency tool, so it's really not worth it. Finally, yes, Starving Venom is a part of this archetype because Greedy Venom is its evolved form and means that he's invited to the Harvest Festival. That's interesting. I didn't think about Predaprime being able to be used for damage pushes during the battle phase because it didn't have like a main phase only or defense position lock like so many quick play fusion spells do. I was trying to figure out during playtesting why it was even a quick play spell, since I would typically rather fuse on my turn since there's no like on fusion disruption effects that could make that valuable. So that's pretty interesting that it can just be used for like OTKing. Starving Venom is a bro, and I'm glad to see that he's part of the family. Our final commenter states, "Terra Penis can inflict battle damage if your opponent attacks into its set." True! That is very true, but I don't think that's ever going to happen. Thank you all for your comments. There were many more that were helpful and insightful, but didn't make it into the video. Let's get into today's deck. Today's deck list is a branded Predaplant hybrid for the 100-point Genesis format. I think that this deck is okay. I don't know that Predaplant has enough to be played solo, so I think you kind of have to mix it with something, and the branded cards being able to send darks to grave off of something like Branded Fusion is strong enough. The branded cards are incredibly expensive on the list, which plays nicely with the fact that basically all of the Predaplants are free. We'll do a quick card by card and then get on to the duels. We're playing 3 copies of Aluber, 3 copies of Fallen of Albaz. We're playing 1 copy of Stay Sailor Romarin. This is essentially a light target that you can send off Branded Fusion because it has the effect, if this card is sent to the grave by a card effect, you can send a level 5 or lower plant monster from deck or extra deck to the grave, basically allowing you to get a Predaplant in grave off of Branded Fusion. We're playing 1 copy of Blazing Cartesia, 1 copy of Guiding Quem, 3 copies of Predaplant Orphis Scorpio, 1 Darling Tony and Cobra. We're playing 3 copies of Predaplant Clisimiumdu, 2 copies of Saracent, 3 copies of Biblisp. This is like the best card of the deck. It's so crazy. It's just like free searching when you send it off of any of the Predaplant effects. We're playing 1 Branded Fusion because this card is ridiculously expensive on the point list, 3 copies of DD Crow, 3 Fusion Deployment. We're playing 3 Predapractice. This card is nuts. It's just extension if you're interrupted and allows you to search as well. And there's so many things that you want to search for discarding in this deck that allow you to plus. It's nuts. We're playing 1 Ultra Polymerization. This card says pay 2,000 life points, fusion summon 1 fusion monster from your extra deck using 2 monsters you control as fusion materials. Neither player can activate cards or effects in response to this card's activation. You can banish this card from your grave, then target one fusion monster that was fusion summoned with this card's effect, special summon all the fusion materials used for its fusion summon from grave, but then you blank their attack and defense to 0 and they have their effects negated. This is searchable, so you might as well play one, and it's pretty effective at getting new materials back and making sure that you can at least get into your fusions. We're playing 3 copies of Branded Opening just to help us get to the 1 branded fusion, 1 Predaprime fusion just because it's searchable and can let you push for lethal, 2 Super Polymerization, 1 Branded Banishment, and a Predaplanning. For the extra deck, we have a Starving Venom Predapower Fusion Dragon, a Greedy Venom Fusion Dragon, a Triffy-Overrudum, 1 Mirror Jade, 1 Starving Venom Fusion Dragon, 2 Dragostapelia, an Albion, a Dusk Dragon, a Titanclad, a Chimera Phlegia, 1 Garura, 2 Ambulomedes, and a Mud Dragon. This is our primary Super Poly target, although we also have Garura. For the side deck, we're playing 2 Lancia, 2 Medora, 2 Dark Hole, a playset of Mystical Space Typhoon, Predaponics, Predapruning, Predaplanning, and 3 copies of Banksy Ogre just to be cheeky as a Kaiju target going second. Let's get into the duels. All right, everybody, for our first duel of the day, we are going first against nothing. You guys will see. We begin with a fusion deployment, revealing a Dusk Dragon for a Blazing Cartesia. We'll then normal summon the LWIR, activate the effect for a branded fusion. At this point, we're going to go Cartesia effect, make a Dusk Dragon, and pitch a Garura, which adds... well, that saves basically the entire hand, doesn't it? We're going to go Predapractice for the Clisimiumdu, which will add a Biblisp. Then we'll go Clisimiumdu effect in order to make Ambulomedes, and go the effect of both of them for a Predaplanning and a Saracent. Did you know this card doesn't activate when sent for cost? I did not know that, as you'll see. We'll go Ambulomedes for an Orphis Scorpio pitching the Saracent for a Darlingtonia Cobra, which will add a Super Polymerization, just like want to get another piece of interruption on our opponent's turn. We'll go Ultra Polymerization for Dragostapelia, and then go Branded Fusion for Albion. We'll go effect of Albion in order to make a Mirror Jade. This card is as good as it was when it came out. Maybe not, but it's still pretty good. We're going to set a couple back row, go Cartesia during the end phase to get it back to hand, just like a card to send off Super Poly. Our opponent begins with reinforcement of the army's troops and a Swallowtail Butter Spy. Probably should have gotten rid of that immediately, but we didn't, just playing super conservatively. We're going to Mirror Jade, sending the Junk Anchor, and then go effect of Titaniclad to get a Fallen of Albaz, which will fusion summon into a Mud Dragon of the Swamp. We're going to add back the Blazing Cartesia during the end phase, draw a DD Crow for turn, go Predaplanning, sending Biblisp, go Biblisp in order to get a Clisimiumdu, which we are going to normal summon, activate the effect of to fusion summon Chimera Phlesia, and then go Predaplanning, popping, oh my god, Mirror Force. Could you imagine? That Sly Dog almost caught me monologuing. Unfortunately, we are going to swing for game. Could you imagine? All right, everybody, for our second duel of the day, we are going second against Pure Punk. Personally, I prefer the Gold Pride version, but I understand why you'd play it pure. They begin by normal summoning Zeamin and activating the effect for Foxytune. We'll go Foxytune, pitching itself and Zeamin for Shirakusai. They'll go Shirakusai effect, making a Rising Carp, and then go Rising Carp for Wogon and Deer Note. They're going to activate the effect of Wogon, getting the completely overpowered field spell, and will activate that field spell from hand. They will then go Ogre Dance, getting a Madam Spider, not played in Advanced, but is played in Genesis so far. They're going to make a Dragon Drive, then go effect of Deer Note. I'm going to DD Crow the Deer Note target, but that doesn't unfortunately do too much. They add a Ghost Ogre, then go the field spell to draw a card. They're going to make a Jam Fever, then go field spell once more in order to get a Madam Spider, which gets a Dangerous Gabu. This is just imperm without the cost. And then they get to draw another card. They're going to go Rising Scale, banishing, and then go Rising Scale effect in order to get a Shirakusai, set a bunch of cards, and then pass turn to us. We begin by Branded Opening, pitching for a LWIR. We're going to activate the effect of a LWIR, which eats the Dangerous Gabu. Unfortunate. During our main phase, we go Predapractice for Orphis Scorpio, getting us a Clisimiumdu. We are going to go Orphis Scorpio pitching for yet another Clisimiumdu. We'll activate the effect and get Super Polyed for Garura. Oh my gosh. We go Fusion Deployment here, getting us a Blazing Cartesia. We go Cartesia effect, which eats a Jam Fever, and unfortunately, that's basically all she wrote. You can see that the interruption on their board is just too crazy. They're going to go Madam Spider, getting another trap I've never read before. I didn't think people played the second trap. They're going to make a Croca Dragon? Oh my gosh, this is just BMing. They're going to make Pep, add a million cards. Half their deck is either in the graveyard, on the field, in their hand. They're going to extend off the field spell, banish our card, and then swing for lethal with everything on their board. Absolutely ridiculous. So what do I think about the deck? Honestly, I'm not sure that this build works in Genesis. I wanted to pair it with something like Ragnarika, which would be cool if links were allowed, but I figured the deck doesn't really make Verte anyway, so it should be fine in this format. Unfortunately, I think that I underestimated the importance of the pendulums, and it's possible that the branded cards couldn't quite fill that gap. I possibly should have played some synchros in the Cartesia package, but there are so many fusion locks that I didn't think it was worth it. Ultimately, I was interested by what the deck showed me, enough to give it another shot, possibly on stream at some point. I hope that you guys enjoyed today's video. Leave a like if you liked, leave a comment if you have something to say. Shout out to our channel members Tyloo Rex, Ben Hart, and Ruru Atori. And for the rest of you, remember to wash behind your ears.